Newcastle United players return to training this week ahead of a very busy pre-season with some mixed reaction to the upcoming Select Cup. So we'll talk a little bit about that in this video, with the Newcastle owners set to have a big meeting this weekend, hopefully to discuss transfers, with Jarrod Bowen still being reported as Newcastle's #1 right-wing target. Yes, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. Despite the fact that the Euros is on, England are in the semi-final tomorrow night, final at the weekend. There is still plenty to talk about in the world of Newcastle. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to go ahead and hit that big red button. It has been a little bit quieter in the last week after what was an insane, week a week ago with the PSR deadline. I think things have, everyone's taken a little bit of a breath, but I imagine once the Euros is finished, things will come back with a bang pretty quickly. And as I say, the Newcastle players are meant to be back at the training ground this week, I imagine, to get some tests done, getting ready for what is going to be a very big and busy pre-season. That's away from the transfers, just a busy pre-season. We've got the away game against Hull on the 27th of July. Tickets are on sale for that right now. I think it's at 6 loyalty points with about 1,000 tickets left to go. I'm not going. I'm actually on holiday that week, so I have not got a ticket for it. But there's plenty to do it if you want to. Then we head off to Japan. We've got 2 games over in Japan on the 31st of July and then the 3rd of August. So if you're going out there, big up. And then following that, we then have the Select Cup back at St James's Park. Tickets are still available online for that as well. On the 9th, the Friday, the 9th, the evening. And then on the Saturday at 4:30, there's also a women's game on the Saturday morning as well, if you want to get yourself some tickets for that. So yeah, loads coming up. And as I say, I'm sure the likes of Gordon, although he hasn't played as much time for England as I would have liked. Obviously, Bruno's been away with Brazil. Almiron's been away with Paraguay. There's some players that I think will possibly get a bit of time off extra, but they reckon that, yeah, some players will be returning to St James's Park as quickly as this Thursday or Friday ahead of what is going to be an exciting time. I am looking forward to seeing how England get on, but I've got to say, I'm looking forward to the day-to-day Newcastle stuff coming back very, very soon. And as I say, it's great to see that we're having that away game against Hull. I think a lot of people will enjoy going to that. Then the Japan stuff, and then the Select Cup. And it's been a bit, I have got my tickets for the Select Cup. I've actually paid £45 for 2 friendlies. I've paid £20 for the Friday night. I'm going to sit in the Gallagher or stand in the Gallagher on the Friday. And on the Saturday, I've paid the extra £5 to go and sit in the Millburn. And that has had a bit of a mixed response, because I think £20 for a friendly is a bit expensive, bearing in mind it used to be £5, £10 not too long ago. I think we had mixed success in the last Select Cup. I think the expectation this time around was, let's play Barcelona, let's play Juventus, let's play Inter Milan. And then if you were charging 20, 25 quid, then I think people would be slightly more for it. I think to say that we have Champions League opposition, which we do, because it is 2 teams that have qualified for the Champions League, but then when you hear that it is Girona and Stade Brestos, yeah, it's not quite the blue chip Barcelona Juventus that I was hoping for. But maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe the fact that it is that more expensive means we get things like having the lettering changed across St James's Park, no longer the Sports Direct lettering. The fact that we are going to see some money spent this transfer window. I think for me, £25 for a friendly is loads. And to the point where I was tempted to not go. But again, I'm privileged enough that I have a season ticket, I go to the game. So for people who don't have that, maybe it's just exactly what it is. The chance to go to a game when you wouldn't normally get to. So let me know your thoughts on the Select Cup down below. But something else that's getting people very excited is we've seen the home kit. Lots of leaks for the new away and third kits. The hope is that by the time the Select Cup comes around, that all 3 home away and third kits will be available. Very exciting to see people. I mean, people are already posting images of the away and third kits. I think, you know, some lucky people have managed to get their hands on them. I think some have been ordering them from various websites that aren't through Newcastle United, but I think they will be available from Newcastle very, very soon. And I have to say, I am excited for the away kit. I reckon the away kit, I think, is probably going to be on sale imminently. I would guess after the Euros. I think we've waited long enough since the home kit now for the away kit to come on sale. And bearing in mind, there's only 6 weeks till the season starts, and we've got 2 kit releases. So you'd think really what they want to do now is release the away kit now and give everyone time to save up their money, ready for the third kit that'll probably be released just before the start of the season. And as excited I am to see the 95 top return, I think it's the third one, and bearing in mind it is the green and white that has had mixed responses as well. I think that's the one that I think looks really cool. So we wait to see what happens with that one. Interestingly enough, someone who I think some people are getting a little bit of an idea for this morning is in terms of a player returning to Newcastle, but I would be very shocked to see him wearing a Newcastle strip again, and it is Saint-Maximin. Obviously, we sold him almost exactly a year ago to Saudi Arabia, a player that I think no one necessarily wanted to see Maxi go, but was kind of had to happen in terms of what was going on with the club, and you know, Maxi had his moments in the side. I mean, again, another player, you know, similar to Dubravka, who's heavily linked to leaving this summer window. I mean, Maxi, you know, dragged us through the mud. I was going to use another word there. Dragged us through the mud for a long time. And I think some people would potentially like to see him back again. He is linked to leaving Saudi Arabia. Actually looks like he's going to be heading to Fenerbahce. I think he's gone out to Saudi for the sale in Newcastle's eyes and probably for the money in himself. But I think he's a better player than that. And it would be nice to see Maxi, I guess, competing again. If there was an opportunity for Newcastle to buy him back for a small fee, I think I would do it. I think I would be interested to see that happen. But would I spend the 25-30 to have Maxi back when I would probably prefer to spend the money on a different player in that position? Yeah, I would say so. I think Maxi was great for what he was, and I wouldn't bring him in as potentially an immediate first-team starter, even though what he can do, having him off the bench would be awesome. But I think Eddie Howe was trying to kind of... He's a numbers man, you know. I think he would probably Eddie Howe would play Murphy over Maxi just because of the fact that he crosses the ball in. So although it's a nice idea, I just really don't see it happening. But what I do see happening is hopefully in the next 6 weeks, as I mentioned, Newcastle really stepping up their game. And it's being reported actually that Newcastle owners are set to have a meeting this weekend up in Alnwick again. We saw that on the Amazon documentary, them booking that big house out with the boards and everything to get themselves ready for what is hopefully going to be a big summer of transfers, with more links coming out this morning. The big one appears to be Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen, we've been kind of linked with him over the last month or so. Obviously a highly talented player at West Ham. I think he's a player that Eddie Howe would take great interest in. He's an English player. Eddie Howe loves bringing his English players in, and he's very, very direct. He's kind of the mirror side of what Gordon does over on the left. Jarrod Bowen on the right, attacking, quick, moving with pace, and trying to put numbers on the board. The trouble is, and I will come out quite quickly in this and say I think I'll be very surprised if Newcastle managed to work a deal for Jarrod Bowen. I don't think West Ham want to sell. I think West Ham are potentially open to selling him for a big price, as most teams are with most of their players. You know, as much as I don't want to see any of our players go, if someone turned around and offered 500 million for someone, then you'd probably say yes to it. You know, that's the kind of market the world of football is, and the number that's being discussed by West Ham, or banded around, I should say, is 100 million, which is just a lot. Now, the reports coming out today are that Newcastle believe that there is a deal to do and are confident that a deal could be done. The idea that 100 million, even in West Ham's eyes, is kind of unrealistic. But of course, they're gonna start the bidding there. 100 million. Newcastle go 50. West Ham go 95, 99, and then we go 55. You know, it's one of them, and potentially there is somewhere to meet in the middle. But if I had to guess, that middle wouldn't be 60 million. It's going to be closer to the top end, because I don't think they really want to sell him. I think they would only do it if it was for that huge fee. And I kind of look at what Newcastle have done so far in since the takeover and bringing players in. Yes, we did go and spend 63 million on Isak, and it was 40 million on Gordon, 40 million on Bruno. So there's some big numbers there, but not quite 100. And you look at the likes of Paul, I was going to call him Phil Mitchell then, Paul Mitchell coming into Newcastle as the new director of football. You look at his track record of what he's done, and it's bringing in kind of younger players on good prices to build up. And not to sell on, hopefully. I mean, there is an opportunity that maybe, because, you know, we're not a selling club anymore. But if we bring someone in, and look at Minty, you know that how that one's worked out. You look at like someone like Cole Palmer from Man City to Chelsea. My plan or hope is that Newcastle bring players in to sell, but bring them in on modest fees. We'll build them up, and if they could meet the level, or they might not meet the level, but as long as there's an opportunity that at some point we can play a trade, as Darren Eales likes to call it. When we're not buying to sell, but have the opportunity to do so. And as soon as you let 80 million go on a Jarrod Bowen, who's 27, so he's in the prime of his career right now, the likelihood for Jarrod Bowen to go from 80 million to 120 in one season at Newcastle, I don't know if it really stands to make sense with me when there's opportunities out there for me, like a Somerville from Leeds, who's 22 years old, you can bring in for 30, 40 million pounds and build up. I mean, Eddie Howe said that as well. Like, we haven't gone out and done the Galacticos thing. We haven't bought a Robinho. Like, I guess Bruno's as close as that, or an Isak. But even then, they were way more lesser known than what Man City did. We're kind of bringing players in to build up and make them into Geordie Toon legends. We aren't like buying other people's, and not to say that I think Jarrod Bowen's, maybe, is he a West Ham legend? I don't know. You'd have to ask them that. But I don't know. Just it doesn't quite look right to me. Could Bowen be a smokescreen? Don't get me wrong. If Newcastle are able to work a deal with West Ham that works for us and it is at a good fee, I think it's a good transfer. Jarrod Bowen is an amazing player. I think he would sit right into our team very well. He would create a lot of chances for the likes of Isak. I think he would fit perfectly into what we want. But I just don't know if he really, other than the fact that he's English and the numbers, all of that stacks up. But just the cost and whether West Ham want to sell him or not. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on Jarrod Bowen. What do you think of the right-wing situation? It's reported that he's still Newcastle's #1 priority. Will he continue to be that at the prices West Ham are saying? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on Maxi. 10 million to bring him back. Are you going to buy the new away or the third kit? And are you going to the Seller Cup? Is it just the way it is now? Just going to be expensive to go to friendlies? Or should Newcastle take another look and go, we've just sold Anderson and Minty for 70 million. Do we need to charge the kids 20 quid for a game, or can we do the £10 thing again? Or is that just the way football's changing? The same with the £80 football shirts. Thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. As always, if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit the button. And I asked you guys to hit the like button last time, and you did, and I got the most likes I've had on a video in ages. So if you want to do that again, that would also be appreciated. Thank you for watching on this very wet day in Newcastle, and I'll catch you later.